My youngest sister, Raindrop, claims that I made remarks about her when she was younger. Have you ever wondered how the bush people of Alaska managed to have such an adventurous life? It's possible that Noah Brown, the tech-savvy Alaskan Bushman who is frequently misunderstood, has a secret that contradicts everything you saw on the episode. There were moments and choices that gave the impression that Noah had other plans, even as the cameras documented the family's struggle to survive in the Alaskan tundra. Was there a purpose? Was that a hidden aspect of his existence? It might alter your opinion of him and the Bush family as a whole. We will reveal startling facts regarding Noah Brown and the Alaskan Bush People program. I succeeded. I'm currently in Alaska. They review my publications and the silent scientist Noah Brown's. Prior to the Alaskan Bush People television program's conclusion, rumors circulated that the presentation was somewhat scripted and not entirely authentic. Some believed that the Brown family was simply allowing people to witness them going about their daily lives in the bush. Everyone who watched the show would agree that there were some odd aspects to it. Noah Brown probably didn't want anyone to be aware of this. Before we get to the details, learn more about Noah. The reality TV program Alaskan Bush People helped Noah Brown gain widespread fame. On the show, he and his family lived in isolated places without running water or power, first in Alaska and later in Washington state. Unlike most individuals who grow up surrounded by contemporary amenities and technology, Noah was taught how to live in the wild. He was born on July 18, 1992, which is his birthday. His parents, Billy and Amy Brown, desired to live in the country, apart from other people. They wanted their 7 children to be able to search for food, build houses, and rely on one another when things became bad. Noah was the most considerate and imaginative member of the family from an early age. He was doing more than just chopping wood and fishing. He was constantly coming up with fresh solutions to ease their difficult situation. Fans appreciated his clever solutions to common issues in the wild, as well as his equipment and minor inventions, such as an air conditioner he constructed himself out of ice and buckets. Noah offered something different from his brothers, who were more focused on surviving. He came up with some of the best ideas for the family. Despite his hectic schedule, he managed to find love. Noah met Rain Alicia in Hoonah, Alaska, on August 15, 2016. At the time, she was traveling through the region. At the time, Noah was with his family, who were attending to his mother Amy's cancer treatment. Despite their issues, Noah and Rain grew close and started dating right away. Over the next 2 years, their relationship grew stronger. On April 17, 2018, as the sun was setting on a beautiful trek in Juneau, Alaska, Noah proposed to Rain.
Despite everything, he still has a deep, silent resolve to show himself. He's not flawless, but he's also not uninteresting. In the end, Alaskan Bush People was more than just a television program. A family that was attempting to live a different life was caught up in reality. The issues that fans didn't witness on television were brought on by loss, personal issues, fame, and money. The Browns are still around, but they don't seem to be as close as they once were. While some members have chosen to remain silent, others have started to reveal the facts bit by bit. Despite all of the drama and issues that arose, Alaskan Bush People was an engaging program. However, the Browns transformed reality TV and showed viewers what life is like off the grid, even if you believe it was all made up. People want to know why Alaskan Bush People have not received any nominations or awards from major television organizations such as Critics' Choice or the Emmys. The show has been around for a while and is well liked. It could occur shortly. How do you feel about Noah Brown's personal life? Are the Alaskan Bush People show stories accurate? Does the family have a chance of appearing on our screens once more? Would you ever consider living in the bush, away from people, if you had the chance? Use the box below to share your thoughts. Thank you for viewing. If you enjoyed this film, kindly like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Before you go, watch the other videos on your screen.
To make the occasion even more memorable, he even manufactured the ring himself. On August 15, 2018, 2 years ago today, they were married in Idaho. There were only approximately 25 attendees for the modest, intimate wedding, the majority of whom were relatives. This demonstrated Noah's high regard for privacy. Rain chose a white dress from David's bridal, while Noah wore a suit. For this occasion, the Brown family all dressed up, although they typically wore rough clothing because they were in the bush. They couldn't wait to make memories with their new family and begin a new life together. Their trip had a lovely beginning, but later on, things took a turn for the worse. Both before and after their marriage, fans closely followed their friendship. Rain was from a distant location, even though the majority of the Brown family was raised in the woods. For a while, it appeared that they were creating a solid family with their 2 children together. However, Noah disclosed that he and Rain were no longer together at the beginning of 2025. He informed his buddies that he had left and was searching for a new residence in the Mesquite, Washington, or the Oroville area. It was an uncommon instance of vulnerability that revealed a more genuine side of him than the character portrayed on TV. What made them part ways? Was Noah trying to hide the information from others? Stay tuned and we'll find out. Despite the show's discontinuation years ago, Noah continued to communicate with fans, primarily on social media. Although he doesn't post frequently, he is honest when he does. He has discussed his personal issues, co-parenting, and his goals for the next phase of his life. Many people enjoyed that he didn't simply vanish when the cameras stopped. Like everyone else, he's still here, trying to sort things out. The show brought Noah a lot of money. According to reports, he earns over $60,000 annually, and his estimated net worth is $1 million. Given how hard they worked and lived to make the concert happen, that may sound like a lot of money, but it wasn't just that. Years were spent working, telling tales, and demonstrating to the world how families function. Noah Brown is fundamentally a combination of intelligence and wilderness survival skills. He doesn't attempt to be popular and isn't loud or showy. He is merely a man who, like everyone else, experiences life's ups and downs after having a special upbringing and learning to think creatively. He continues his journey off camera. His daily decisions for himself and his children reflect this. People are still curious about what Noah didn't want others to know. Were they trying to hide something from the public about the show? Was the show, as many believed, a hoax? Before we give you the truth, let's have a look at what the Alaskan Bush People show was about. At 1,500 miles to the south, Browns Mountain has seen its first snowfall of the season. The Bush People of Alaska, Wild Life. The Discovery Channel aired a real-life television program called Alaskan Bush People. It concerned the 9 members of the Brown family who made the decision to live in the country. They made their own homes in the woods, hunted for food, and exploited nature to attempt to survive instead of residing in villages or cities. 2014 saw the premiere of the first season, while 2022 saw the final one. The family was run by the father, Bill Brown, and his wife, Amy Brown. The family has 7 children, Rain, Bam, Gabe, Matt, and Joshua. According to Billy, people ought to live off the grid, which excludes power, the internet, and other contemporary amenities. He wanted his family to be resilient, independent, and in tune with nature. Because of their tendency to stick together like a pack of dogs, the Wolf Pack received their moniker. The first locations where the show was filmed were Copper Center and Chekhov Island in Alaska. The family then relocated to Washington State and continued to live off the grid. They built dwellings, hunted animals, fished in rivers, and dealt with inclement weather. In each episode, they cooperate to overcome issues and survive in the wild. But it wasn't all sunshine and butterflies. A few people didn't think the show was authentic. Some claimed it appeared phony or staged. When they weren't being recorded, the family used contemporary tools or slept in motels. However, the show was popular because it presented a different side of life, one that was straightforward, honest, and enjoyable. Following a seizure, Billy Brown died in 2021. For both his family and the show, his passing was a huge issue. After that, things were different. The children started living on their own, and Amy's health started to deteriorate. While some stayed near their families, others went away or launched new endeavors. Matt, the oldest son, left the show early to move to California. On YouTube, people may see him discuss his life. After taking a hiatus, Bam Bam returned. Bear married and had a family. Gabe had kids, too. The youngest boy, Noah, was well known for his inventiveness and his reserved demeanor. Rain and Snowbird remained near their mother, Amy. In 2022, the show abruptly ended, although nobody voiced any concerns. Even though the Brown family is no longer on television, fans continue to watch them online. Following the performance, they discuss their lives and exchange photos and anecdotes. There are many who hope the show will return. However, the family does not currently live in the spotlight. Although there were obvious fissures, the Brown family made an effort to assure the public that they were all in agreement. The Alaskan Bush family's Browns have issues and arguments that are kept under wraps. Behind the scenes, things weren't always as good as they were on TV, where everyone appeared powerful and united. Over the years, a number of long-hidden family arguments, some in private and some in public, have surfaced. Even while these issues weren't always evident in the episodes, fans who kept a close eye on the family started to see flaws in the wolf pack. One of the most significant altercations involved the eldest son, Matt Brown. Since leaving the show in 2016, he has not returned. It was initially unknown why, but it was later discovered that Matt had been struggling with alcoholism. He went to treatment in an attempt to improve his family relationships. He claimed to feel excluded and alone in social media posts and appearances. To make matters worse, he was also the target of serious accusations from two women connected to the show. Before the episode ended, Matt stopped appearing in any of the family's updates and no longer lives with them. Another issue facing the Brown family was Billy Brown's deteriorating health. Billy resembled a father figure if you watched Alaskan Bush People. Before he passed away, he had been ill for years. Lung issues were the first. He frequently felt as though he was out of breath. Docs initially believed it was just his lungs that were having problems, but he later discovered that it was actually his heart. He had also visited the hospital multiple times and was experiencing problems with his kidneys. In 2019, he underwent surgery due to respiratory difficulties. Doctors advised Billy that living high up, such in mountains, was making things worse, but he didn't want to change his lifestyle. Living off the grid and remote from others was not something he wanted to give up. Billy then experienced a seizure at home on the family property in Washington around the beginning of February 2021. Seizures are abrupt medical emergencies in which the brain momentarily loses control of the body. His family and the film crew made an effort to assist. Although assistance swiftly arrived when they dialed 911, it was too late to save him. At age 68, he passed away. Bear, his son, broke the news, stating that Billy had always lived his life according to his own terms. Billy had even stated just before his death that he wanted his family to remain close and strong since he knew he wouldn't be here forever. His passing was a profound loss for his family as well as for those who had been following them for years. His wife, Amy, was referred to as the rock that held everyone together, as the Brown family supported one another. However, the family got into another argument after he passed away. There was disagreement on how to manage wealth and influence. Some individuals did not receive as much money from Billy's Alaskan Bush People show. The only one who was actually getting paid was Billy. After his death, everything were unclear. A former co-worker of Billy's came forward to claim that Billy owed them hundreds of thousands of dollars from a previous transaction. Billy hadn't specified who was responsible for his payments or property, though. People were asking how the money was being handled while the family fought over this court battle. Amy, the family victim, had to assume responsibility, which put her in a difficult situation. However, she assured him that she was not accountable for his words. Additionally, some of the children felt like they were being used, particularly Matt. He said that despite working hard on the project, he was never compensated. The family situation worsened as a result. Nobody knew how to clean up the mess or who was in charge. Bear Brown, one of the lads, also ran afoul of the law. In 2022, he was arrested close to the family property in Washington on charges of further domestic violence. He was accused of causing harm to his wife, Raven, in his home. Bear and Raven got into a heated argument while assembling a camping trailer. Bear acted irrationally and yelled, "Raven informed me." She informed the police that he tried to seize her phone after pushing her down on the bed. Additionally, he claimed to have held her down by placing one hand on her hip and the other on her arm. Her relatives claimed to have overheard her exclaim, "Ow, you're hurting me," and Bear calling her derogatory names when she was on the phone with them. Raven had a scratch on her finger but no further injuries when the police arrived. Bear assured them that he was merely attempting to obtain her phone and had no intention of hurting her. But that wasn't enough for the police, so they took him into custody and locked him up. Bear was released without posting bond after a few days. Later, he consented to a plea agreement, which indicated that the issue would be resolved out of court. He stated that he hoped the truth would be revealed and that the accusations were untrue. Fans were startled by the entire situation because Bear was usually viewed as the show's wild and adventurous character. This also revealed a side of his life that was not captured by CCTV. People were curious about what was happening in the background. In addition, there were a few significant arguments between the brothers. The Brown kids didn't always agree with one another, and some of them went off on their own. After Noah moved out, he and his wife Rain parted ways. For the first 6 years of their marriage, everything appeared to be going well. Given that they produced 2 boys together, they appeared to be one of the more stable couples in the Brown household. Behind the scenes, however, things weren't so simple. Things went bad when Noah's sister Rain became involved. Noah claimed that Rain was threatening him and his family. That caused tension at home. At last, Rain informed Noah that they needed to vacate their primary residence. He eventually located a guest cabin nearby where he could live. They then collaborated to make a movie in which they announced their separation. There is no combat in the video. They simply stated that it benefited them both. Rain was informed by Noah that although he still visits his children on the weekends, he must text her first. After speaking with attorneys, Noah promised not to quarrel over the house or other possessions. He even claimed that since she warned him not to, he no longer discussed Rain on social media. However, Bear and Gabe also got into a brawl over a vessel as simple as a boat. Gabe believed Noah was attempting to take control, so it turned into a bit of a brawl. In a household where everyone lives close to one another and shares everything, even minor issues can turn into major ones. After Billy passed away, Gabe too started to shy away from the spotlight. In subsequent episodes, he became more reclusive and less visible. There were rumors that he wasn't getting along with some family members, and some admirers thought he was aloof. Conversely, Gabe never discussed any significant issues in public. Gabe had some stressful moments, mainly quiet ones that demonstrated his desire to stay out of the commotion, but he wasn't in problems with the authorities like Bear or his family like Noah. But there were other issues with the Brown family name as well. Her relationship with her brother Noah was at an all-time low. He informed him that she was using drugs, threatening him, and even offering their mother cocaine to treat a headache. He requested a shield order from the judge since he was so terrified, but the judge denied his request. The events caused tension in their household. Then there was Rain's relationship with her husband, Josiah. In April 2025, they were apprehended. They broke into someone's house, played around, and went areas they weren't supposed to, according to the authorities. Rain claimed that she was attempting to recover almost $43,000 that she believed her supervisor had embezzled from her. She added that she felt awful about this individual. After being detained, she posted a statement from the Bible online to create the appearance that there was more to the story. In addition to all of that, Rain's experienced mental health issues as a child while growing up in the spotlight. Fans have witnessed her act out, such as shutting off cameras with her husband, and she has written things that look depressing or furious. Many of her actions are believed to be motivated by pain, stress, or a sense of being misunderstood. However, Snowbird Brown has largely stayed out of the spotlight. Her health scare in 2022, when she underwent surgery for ovarian tumors, was her most prominent issue. Fans witnessed her sobbing in the hospital throughout the event, even though she initially kept quiet about it. At that moment, her fear and weakness were evident. She claimed that in order to avoid upsetting her family, she didn't tell them right away. Since then, she has used her YouTube account to communicate with and update her admirers. She has not engaged in any legal issues and has maintained a low profile. In addition to these arguments, the family's leader, Amy Brown, also had her share of issues. In 2017, she received a diagnosis of stage 3 lung cancer. The cancer was spreading and well advanced. Radiation and chemotherapy, which are extremely potent treatments that can leave a person feeling weak and ill, were used on her. At one point, a physician informed Amy that her chances of survival were slim, but she persisted. She remained strong and fought hard. She then experienced another health crisis in February 2025. She was experiencing respiratory difficulties and was immediately rushed to the hospital. Her daughter Snowbird informed her that Amy was suffering from pneumonia, a severe lung illness. She had to be put to sleep in order for her body to rest and recover because it had gotten so awful. After a few weeks in the hospital, Amy recovered and was discharged home. Her son Bear reported that she felt better and that her lungs and heart were functioning properly. Her followers were pleased when she smiled once more in a video with her daughter Rain. While some of Amy's brothers continued to communicate, others did not. Fans noticed that they didn't discuss each other online or share many photos of themselves together. The family's relationship appeared to be deteriorating with time. The fight even extended to the show itself. After season 14 concluded in 2022, there was no announcement of a new season. While some believed the network terminated it because of the numerous arguments and legal issues, others believed the family didn't want to continue. In any case, the quiet said volumes. Today was my 33rd birthday. 30 is my age. What's actually happening with Noah Brown's non-TV endeavors? Noah Brown from Alaskan Bush People is typically thought of as a woodsman who either constructs odd inventions or keeps his family alive without electricity. After the cameras stopped rolling, however, most people don't realize how exciting and challenging Noah's life is. After the show's success, Noah focused on his other endeavors. He wanted to be more than just the TV tech man. He had more to demonstrate his abilities. He started creating genuine stuff because of this. He constructed his own tools, battery banks, water filters, and even furniture, among other things. He made use of whatever he could find, including bits and old parts. His thoughts were deemed clever by some. Noah didn't mind if some people found them too difficult to understand. He continued to piece things together. He also picked up videography and editing skills. He created brief films showcasing his concepts and posted them online. Without a large TV team, people were going to witness what he could accomplish. He even said that he would one day host his own program where he would instruct viewers on how to survive and construct things from the ground up. However, things weren't always simple. He was unstable as a result of the arguments and family issues that surrounded him. The family that initially appeared to be perfect suddenly began to disintegrate. He realized it was time to go on and start a new life away from the Brown family after his marriage to Rain failed. It was obvious that his brothers and he would never be the same due to their issues. He wanted to shrink away even more because of this. Despite everything, Noah continued to work on his projects. He expressed his desire for his children to live better lives. His primary focus was on developing solar-powered equipment and water systems that would enable people to survive without electricity. He added that inspiration might come from nature. For instance, he wanted to make his theories function similarly to how plants receive water. Fans claim that Noah is incredibly intelligent. He's doing too much, according to some. But one thing is certain, he isn't only waiting for the next performance. He is attempting to create something real by learning and building. What was hidden from the fans? As a child, Noah was constantly on camera. He and his family appeared to be leading an exciting and wild life in the woods from the outside. However, behind the scenes, things weren't always as they appeared. One of the primary things Alaskan Bush People likely didn't want people to know was that the show wasn't always entirely authentic. They didn't always live without electricity, but they did at times. The family occasionally remained in motels or received assistance from the producers. People started to question whether or not they were a part of the plan because of things like these. They wanted their audience to believe in the lifestyle they portrayed on television, so they didn't want to discuss that. However, considering the dangers involved, it is undeniable that bush living was not very easy. The Brown family thought it would be enjoyable, but it was difficult and frightening. Noah Brown never truly understood the difficulties of adjusting to success. Being on TV made him feel more open, even though he prefers to be alone. His words, his attire, and his actions made people think less of him. His buddies didn't know him well enough, he once claimed. They just knew the version of him that was altered for the show. He felt irritated and unheard as a result. Additionally, Noah didn't want others to know how tense his family was. Who would? To maintain their family's excellent reputation, anyone will stop at nothing. There were clashes, disagreements, and wounded sentiments behind the scenes. Noah didn't want to discuss it in public, and that kind of turmoil didn't air on television. And there's the money. Unlike his father Billy, he was not compensated with show money. Billy was able to give the children money whenever he wanted because he had the agreement. Even though Noah gave it his all, he didn't always think it was worthwhile. With Billy's passing, the situation got even more ambiguous. Lawsuits, worry, and arguments about who should manage the family's finances were all present. If fans had seen that side of things, they would have believed the family was broken. Additionally, his marriage became a personal conflict. That was a separate aspect. He didn't want some aspects of his life to be investigated by his supporters. Unfortunately, the world still found out about it. Although it may sound absurd, Noah most likely didn't want anyone to know how lonely he was. Despite being with his family, he frequently felt as though he didn't belong. He enjoyed creating things, inventing new instruments, and experimenting with novel concepts. However, his dreams did not always align with their intentions. In an attempt to create something wholly original, he started working on his own projects, such as creating tools and films. But he didn't want to be misunderstood or criticized, so he didn't express much of that. Compared to Alaskan Bush People, Noah Brown's narrative was much messier in real life. In addition to having to constantly be someone he didn't want to be, he also had to cope with financial difficulties, family strife, phony moments, and mental stress. In order to preserve his privacy and the reputation of the show, he kept quiet about it.